Hi, I am Dr. Evan Gwilliam. I'm the clinical director for PayDC, which is a completely integrated, compliant, cloud-based chiropractic EHR software. And I want to show you just one of the many exciting things that PayDC can do for you in your office. What you're looking at right now on your screen is an account page for a patient by the name of Jon Snow, for those of you who are Game of Thrones fans. And he is, if you look, he's on visit 2 of 20 that are planned for him from Dr. Hancock as his provider. So if I want to go to add a note, I simply click here. Before I do that though, I let the patient check themselves in at the front desk. And when they do, they are taken to this screen here, and Jon gets some instructions, and then it shows him what his complaints are, and Jon is then able to update his own subjective complaints. And he moves his pain down from an 8 to a 7, and he says the frequency's gone down to intermittent, and the qualitative has gone down to moderate, and it's no longer a problem with walking, but it seems to be a problem with bending, and the rest is the same, and the tingling is a little worse, and so on. And then the patient says, okay, I'm all done entering my complaints, and the data is now given to the healthcare provider, which in this case we'll say is me. So I hit finish, and the next patient can now log in and update their subjective. Now, if I go back to the notes for Jon Snow, I simply hit add notes, and I'm going to build upon this workflow that we created previously that has 20 visits scheduled in it. And so it's going to allow us to add the third note to this case. If you take a look, you can see the prior notes right here, and I can review them if I need to. The current one is unsigned. I can see at a glance that the patient is on his 3rd visit. He doesn't have insurance and so on. Now, this particular case, what I want to show you is how quickly I can do a subsequent visit note with PayDC. Every visit is based upon the prior one, and the clinician's job isn't to create a new note. Rather, it's to build upon the last one and show any changes from one visit to the next. Changes is what gets medical necessity satisfied. And so we could go through this note. We like to boast you can do it in less than a minute very easily in PayDC. It'll take me slightly longer because I am providing some commentary. But imagine without the commentary that you could knock out daily notes really quick, very complete, very compliant, satisfy any third-party auditor, satisfy the claims adjuster, everybody in less than a minute. So we work our way through the note, we open up the subjective portion, and we see the patient's complaints outlined here, but there's a hyperlink that lets us know the patient checked in a few moments ago. And I can review what the patient's prior note said and what the current note says here in this little review. If I want to, though, I can override it and say, well, the pain's actually your 6 and the patient was wrong, and the patient forgot to mention this, and so on. Now that I've got the subjective all updated, I move down to the objective, and I can see what happened last time, and I can get in here and say, well, this time we're going to get rid of these 2 segments, and instead of sacrum, we're going to address the pelvis, but the rest is still the same. And last time we had tenderness, spasm, and trigger points, so if we go into the trigger points, we go, well, this is a little bit better, but there's some new ones down here, and so we add those in. And maybe the spasms are the same, but the tenderness has changed a little bit. So we open that up and we go, well, the tenderness here is gone, and this one's a little better, and we hit OK. And then we move down to the assessment, and we can change the diagnosis codes here if we want, or keep them from the prior visit. We can say, hey, the patient is slightly better than before. Maybe they're really improved, but it's slower than I thought. And I had a goal previously for the patient to be able to sit without pain, and they were 20% towards accomplishing that goal, but now they can sit a little longer, so I can go to 30%. And so then I move on to the plan section of the note, and I can copy forward the planned services for this episode of care. I already have outlined behind this note a 20-visit care plan with all the details. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that in, and that way I don't have to recreate all this. Looks like what I have planned for this patient is 98941 and 97014. All the details are outlined here. Even the diagnosis pointers are saved from the prior visit. If I had a time-based code, I could enter the time, sign the note, and I'm all done. And now I've created an initial subsequent visit note for this patient. And so it's that easy in PayDC. And if you want to take a look at the note, you can see that the notes in PayDC are really clear and concise. It says anything that's new has been formatted differently. And if we scroll through the note, we can see all these changes that are bolded. Super easy for a reviewer to see what needs to happen. Really difficult for them to claim your notes are all cloned or copied. And it's easy to establish medical necessity when I have these kinds of changes bolded for those who are reviewing the records. Okay, and you can see the assessment, the long-term goals. If I have statements like this in my daily notes from time to time, it makes it really easy to show progress and change. You know, patient is showing improvement since the prior visit and so on. And then a valid electronic signature with a time and date stamp. So that's how you do notes in PayDC. A daily visit, about a minute. The initial visit takes a little longer because you got to pull in one of the care plans, but you can save your care plan templates and modify them on the fly. PayDC is designed to be fast, easy, and compliant. If you would like to know more, please go to paydc.com/demos and watch a few of the little short videos there about other parts of the software, like our integrated billing, our clearinghouse, our appointment book, our online scheduler. We have all these other great features. Or just reach out to us through the through paydc.com. Thank you so much.